Hi, I'm Jen.
And I'm Mac.
And we're not mac and cheese.
Why do you do that?
Because it's funny.
It's not funny. So I'm Mac.
I'm Jen.
And we're buying a house in Italy.
La Casa dei Sogni.
Which means
the house of dreams.
No.
My dreams the last 3 years. We
No.
think is how it's.
We're from West Palm Beach, Florida. We have 4 kids. Our oldest is 18. Our twins are just turned 16. And our youngest, Parker, is 14.
Almost 15.
He's 15.
Yes, we know how kids are made.
I'm a professional pickleball player and paddle coach, COO of a company.
I own my own company, consulting, marketing, financial aid, student accounts, admissions, all things higher ed.
We've done a lot of travels. We've been married for 22, going on 23 years. Been to a lot of countries, but there's no place for us like the Cinque Terre, Italy. 20 years ago, we started talking about buying a place here, but now we're here. It's a little scary and exciting and a real potential.
The first time we came to Italy, we backpacked around 2 days or 2 nights in every big city, and we wanted to have a couple small cities. So we did Sorrento on the Amalfi Coast. That was beautiful. But as soon as Mac and I walked off the train here in Monterosso and saw the beach and the clouds opened up, and it was like, ah. That's why we settled here. We both fell in love with it. And then the hiking, the food, the people. It's my favorite place in the world.
We've made the decision to buy, and it's been a process. We've been in Italy now for a couple weeks.
But looked at over 100 different houses, and I wanted to make sure, because there was a lot of inexpensive houses in Italy all over. So I wanted to see the whole countryside, see the towns, see everything. And we saw everything. We saw about 100 houses.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and welcome to everything you need to know about buying a house in Italy.
We contracted with this American lady who speaks English in Piedmont area, and she helped arrange all of that, set up the appointments. Monterosso is probably the most expensive place to buy in Italy. I saw this house that was way out of our price range, and it was like an old farmhouse that has no water, has no electricity, and it was like, hey, let's go see that. So that was 3 years ago. So this is the same house that we're buying now for over 25% less. We've been working with the owners, knowing the owners for about 3 years, but never thought that, it's always been a dream because we couldn't afford it. And so for a year, we kind of sat on it. Mac and I came back to the area, looked at the house again. I've been dreaming about this house for a year. Mac sees the potential.
Yeah. Fair.
So it is a project. It has a beautiful view. It is a little bit of a hike up, but still in the town. So it's perfect for us, I think.
So So it's a process. It's, people say you're gonna want to move there full time, and so when you look, I've looked at a lot of YouTube videos, and people are like, here's the negatives, here's why you don't do it, here's what's not good about living in Italy. But our experiences understood that. We have a little bit of patience in the process. We kind of knew what we were getting coming in. We've had to learn the concepts of working with the municipality, getting codici fiscales. So it has been a process, and there's a lot of work to do. But the plan is second home renovation project, investment property, but there's no place like home, this place.
True, and we've been super blessed with the sellers of the property. So often you'll see properties in Italy have like 20 some odd owners. There's only 2 owners of the property, both brothers. Luciano, who is more like me, the risk taker, the one who's not afraid of the challenge, and then Marcello, who is very conservative, more like Mac. But Luciano has been a dear, dear friend to me. I know him and his family, Nicoletta and their sons, are going to be lifelong friends. So I wholeheartedly, and he would say this too, that God brought us together. And so it's been great. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's super annoying when Italians have to talk like 50 minutes about one lock for a door.
The property that we have is up on the side of a mountain, the Cinque Terre Park. And the only way to get stuff up there is by a helicopter. So it's gonna be
$25
$25 a minute, so it's costly.
Here to my side, these white bags here are essentially, these would have come from a helicopter because there's no easy way to transport stuff up here. Gravel, materials, supplies.
Dealing with the park system, does the park want to, have investment in the property, take over some of the property? I think it's 2.5 acres that we got.
1 hectare, a little over a hectare is what they call it here.
So that's the process, and then communicating with the neighbors. We need to get approval from the municipality, which is what we're currently waiting on. We need paperwork of approval for purchase, as I understand it. That's the process.
Yeah, basically it's a signature from the community saying, yes, everything is correct and the property is okay to be purchased. So it's not like us getting approval. It's like, okay, what Luciano and Marcello are saying is correct on all the documents, and that's okay. But there's other things like we have a well on the property, or not a well, what do they call it? It's above ground well for agricultural purposes. And we have to, it's been approved that Luciano has access to it. Now it has to transfer into our name and things like that. So little things like that become a little bit bigger. And then the neighbor can share the well. And then our property is 16 different parcels of land, 16, something like that. So most of it's together, but there's a few random pieces that don't even touch the other pieces of land, which I find funny, but not funny, but weird.
So we'll see. But even after we have the property, it's still going to take a year.
At least.
So we've had, engineer was out, roofer was out, plumber was out,
Electrician.
architect. So we've had lots of meetings. So everyone's looked at the property, but the property's a mess. So as we show the property in videos and pictures of it, it's going to be work. So it's definitely a process. And so we're kind of just documenting the process, and we'll see how it goes.
It'll be fun.
I have now pressed record. You guys can start whenever. He can edit it, right?
Hi.
Hi. Press stop.